And in wedges. Wow, that was impressive.
And in wedges. I probably shouldn't be. My doctor probably wouldn't be happy with me since I've had a disc replacement in my neck. But hey, you know what? That's okay. I walked on fire. I can do it in wedges.
That's right.
So how is everybody?
Yeah. Woo!
Excellent, excellent. Okay, so I'm so sorry that I missed last month. I actually have a new boyfriend. I was in the VA hospital with him as they were digging metal out of his eye. So he had a little accident at work, and so it wasn't too good, and you just don't want to watch that, you know, but I was there with him and watched that process. So I'm really excited, but hated to have to miss last month because I really wanted to carry over the message of what I taught last month. Or the month before. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a real quick recap of what we went over because the message carries through to the next thing. Is that good for y'all?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you all remember, I drew this lovely tree. Last time it was a little bit more destroyed than this though, so I redid it, okay? So in my book, which is Beliefs, Boundaries, and Balance, Tools to Finding Your Way to Inner Peace, I talk about how, and what we're going to be talking about today is the legacy of beliefs. Because you all do realize that everything that is internal within us, our beliefs, they're carrying forward into our legacy. Do y'all agree with that? Say
Yes.
aye.
Aye.
Okay, so who else are they affecting besides us?
Family.
People around us.
Family, people around us, relationships, children, right?
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So I am a product of my legacy, of my parents' legacy, of my caregivers' legacy. Even our teachers, you know, the media, everything that we're affected by, we pick that up as part of our legacy. So in order to do better, be better, we have to really literally start breaking down that legacy and recreating something new. And it starts with the inner beliefs that we have on board, which usually aren't even ours to begin with. Okay, do you understand that they're not even ours? And so we pick these things up as our legacy as to who we are, and they weren't even meant for us. Do y'all agree with that?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so down here, I draw this tree, and this is in my book, is that this tree is us. And in our lives up here, you know, our tree has fruit. Hopefully it has fruit, okay? And so we have our goals. Our goals usually are to be happy, to be in a good relationship, to have inner peace, you know, to have joy. What are some other things that you all want?
Money.
Money, yeah. Yeah, time, success.
Confidence.
Confidence, acceptance, you know, to be enough, you know, not only for other people, but mostly we need to be enough for ourselves.
Right.
So in order to have this, down here is what we don't see. We don't see the roots of a tree, do we?
No.
No. Okay, so that's what's happening is we're walking around a lot of times like zombies, you know, in life, not really participating, you know, because those internal beliefs are so embedded that we often don't even know what they are. We don't even know the I'm not lovable, I'm not worthy, I'm not whatever, but we've got a buttload of them on board. Y'all agree?
Yes.
Okay, and that's why we get stopped. That's why it's hard to get out of bed. That's why it's hard to make that move. I know for myself as well, every single one of us struggle with it, okay? We're all human, you know, and we all struggle with it. So we have to learn and understand what these I am not messages are, that I'm not worthy, that I'm not enough, you know? Mine personally for myself have been, I'm not enough and I'm not worthy. So I've struggled with that my whole life, you know, I don't deal with it nearly as much now because I've done a ton of work, but it still comes up because I'm human. And that's part of the acceptance in life is realizing, and this I got from my brother, is we will always have our core issues. They'll always be there. It's a matter of how many tools do you have on board and how quickly can you get past it. You know, they don't come up very often for me anymore, but when they do, I can handle it much faster. So in this, so these are your internal messages that we don't see. But what happens is that they get embedded in us, and if we're dealing with these things, this is what we see, because we see the trunk of the tree, right? Everybody sees the tree, everybody sees the fruit, whether a tree is really growing or not. If it has fruit, we see that. So out here, these I am not have to go somewhere because it's emotion, it's negative emotion, and that negative emotion has to go somewhere. So oftentimes we're flinging it onto other people, we're making judgments, we're withdrawing, we're holding back. And so this is where all of that behavior happens. We behave out our internal messages. So what do? We act like wounded birds. We withdraw. We act angry. We act passive aggressive. We do things like over intellectualize to make ourselves feel better. We sabotage, okay? Sometimes we even make ourselves look confused. Oh, I really don't understand what's going on. But we really do, don't we? Okay? So that's all that sabotage that we're doing right here. And this is where, you know, my diagram last month got wild. Is because when you have these internal messages on board, what happens is it kills, literally, it's like, you know, it kills the fruit. Okay, so you can't produce fruit if you're still running those internal messages. Y'all agree? Say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so this is what we talked about month before last. Okay, so let's carry this forward. So this is how it happens. Okay, so this is you. And please don't beat me up for my pie charts, okay? I'm not good with circles, okay? I'm good with coaching, I'm not good with circles. Okay, so this is what I call the 5 realities. Has anybody ever heard of different realities?
Can you use a black marker?
Oh, sure. Do we have a, yeah, let's get, sorry about that. I left my markers. Hopefully this will be better. It's brown. Okay, so this is you. So anybody heard of realities or even know where I'm going?
Not sure yet. Keep going.
Okay, so we have physical reality. We have mental. What else do we have? Spiritual. Emotional. And if anybody guesses this other one, I'll give you an extra coaching session.
Financial.
Sexual. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Right? Okay. So these are the 5 realities that we all have on board. Now, for our IT people in the room, who are my IT computer people? Excellent. Okay, you all should get this, okay? So each one of these realities have what I call an operating system, okay? Just like a computer does. So in the physical realm, you do what? You take what? Action. So, to be physical, you have to take action, right? Okay, so to be in a mental space, you have to do what? Huh? We're going to go there because I know what you're thinking, okay? All right, so to be in the mental space, you have to do what?
Think.
You think, okay? Okay, emotional, you do what?
Feel.
You feel. In spiritual, you do what?
Connect.
You have what?
Belief.
Faith.
Close, faith. Okay, and let me explain that, okay? So, good answer. So, a lot of people say belief. But for me, it's really faith, because faith is, I don't see that thing, it's not there, I just have to have faith that it's there. Belief is, if I see it, I believe it, okay? So it's tangible. So I really separate those out too, because the spirituality, you really have to have faith. Would you all agree with me?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
now here's why I break out sexual reality away from which two?
Physical and
Okay,
emotional.
physical and emotional, okay? And some may even say it's actually all 4 that you should have. But the operating system in this would be action as well as feeling. Hopefully. If you've got somebody on board with you, then you're like really in a relationship. Otherwise, that's a whole nother game and a whole nother conversation, okay? All right, so this is you, okay? This is your reality. Okay, now, how many of you all in the room have spent a good majority of the time in your life, this is another person, how many of you all have spent a lot of time in your life confused? Confused about who you are, what you're supposed to do, where you're going, am I making the right decisions, okay? And here's oftentimes what happens in this confusion and how we get there. And Jesse, this may even help with the job situation. We can always carry this forward. I don't mind talking to you afterwards. Okay, so here's this person, or here's you. Okay? Here's mom and dad. Okay? So, hey mom and dad, I've decided that I want to be a nurse. I am so happy. I decided I want to be a nurse. Okay? And then mom and dad comes along and goes, do you think that that's a good idea?
Oh, honey, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, that's a lot of work. Have you really put all that thought into it? What other messages?
Doubt. You don't do it.
Yeah. Are you sure that that's
Disappointment.
really for you? Can you do that?
Discouraging.
Yeah, do you think you'll make enough money doing that? I mean, have you really thought about and planned this out, okay? All right, give me some other examples. What are some other things that you see happen with people that were your caregivers, that influenced you with your legacy?
Can't afford it.
Can't afford it.
I mean, someone say you won't make it.
You won't make it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I didn't have that. My mom supported everything.
Okay, good. Okay. Okay, so this is where, oftentimes, not oftentimes, all the time, this is where we get the negative internal beliefs. The patterns start from a very early age as we start to say to a baby or a little child, well, honey, are you sure you can do that? Well, don't do that. You can't do that. Oh, I don't know about that.
Be careful, don't get hurt.
Be careful, don't get hurt.
Yeah.
And I will tell you right now, it freaking drives me crazy, the helicopter parents right now. I mean, my God, I made it out of the, I was born in the 60s. I'll be 50 this year. And I'm like, okay, I played in the dirt. I played in the road. I'm still here. I got spanked. It was okay. Anybody else?
Yeah.
Okay?
I have a great immune system.
Yeah, exactly. I do have a great immune system, and what's happening is kids are getting more sick because they're not being able to play. So this is how internal dialogue in our brain starts, is because our parents had somebody else influencing them saying, you can't do that. I don't know if this is for you. I don't think you're smart enough, pretty enough, whatever. And they do it in subtle ways. It's not necessarily not to throw your parents or your caregivers under the bus. They don't even mean to do it because it's been passed down to them. Now, sometimes there was evil parents, hopefully you didn't have one of those, but they're receiving, and how I kind of consider this is that our parents have a tool belt, okay? They had a tool belt. And when they raised you, they had tools to help you get raised. But unfortunately, what happens?
They only use the tools they have.
Okay, they only have certain tools.
Right.
So if their parents did not have the tool of how to be affectionate, let's say, okay, their parents were very stoic. Maybe they came out of a generation where, you don't talk about that, you don't do that, you don't show affection and love. I even heard
Right.
Jesse, and Ricardo talk about culturally. Ooh, and I just got cold chills.
I know, me too.
Yes, yes, that cultures, stop families and children from being loved in a proper way based on whatever rules, that they came up with, So generationally, legacy-wise, we're passing down to that next child a generation of want, of need, of emptiness, wondering, why did my mother not love me? Why did my father not tell me, that he cared? Why did he not show me this, that, or the other thing, okay? And so then we're sitting here in this room in 2015, wondering why at the age of 50 or 30 or, whatever age you are in here, why I can't get up and out the door to figure this stuff out. Because is most of our fears reality?
No.
No. So, but we're in our head down here in the I am nots, living out the legacy of our parents' doubts. Okay? So at some point, we have to open up and we have to be what in order to change it?
Courageous.
We have to be courageous. Absolutely. What else do we have to be? Confident. What else?
A firewalker.
A firewalker, right? Yes, you've got to be a firewalker. So here's the thing, is in this belief and this legacy of beliefs, you have to become vulnerable,
Yes.
Mhm.
Well said.
okay? You got to be vulnerable. I just got cold chills again.
Yeah.
God confirms things with me with cold chills, so he's works with me that way. So if I say something or somebody else says something that's right, he does the cold chill thing. So here's the deal, is that we walk around because our parents had a wall, because you recognize this is just a wall that they put up with us because of their own fears. They're projecting their fears onto us. Their parents said, oh, no, don't go out and play in traffic. Oh, no, don't get dirty. Oh, no, you can't do that. So they're just projecting that onto you. So it builds walls, okay? And that's what probably the lady, Jessie, at work, gonna bust you out for a minute. It's walls, of what we think is self-protecting. We think that by not getting close to somebody, not sharing our feelings, not getting close, telling someone how we feel, that it's gonna protect us, that we're gonna be strong. But do y'all notice that those are usually the people that are running weak and scared? I see some smiles, okay? Anybody done that? I'll raise my hand. I know that I have done that, okay? So here's the thing. In order to change that legacy, you have to agree, make an inner agreement and want it so bad. And that's the thing. You got to want it so bad to be different, to want to have a different experience, that you're willing to be vulnerable and to stick yourself out there and go, God, this is really painful. And has it been painful, Jesse, being different in front of these people? Yeah.
Well, and everybody who has an idea of who you are, they're not going to want you to change. Even
No.
if they don't really like who they think you are, they still want you to be the person they can predict.
Absolutely.
They don't need it.
Absolutely.
Change is going to freak them out.
Yeah, and I'm living that vulnerability right now as I'm entering into this new relationship of several months, that I literally am completely showing up differently in this relationship. The Jandy of yesteryear was controlling, I've worked full-time pretty much since I was 13. Came from a highly dysfunctional family. My parents were nightclub entertainers. They traveled in the 40s, 50s, and 60s and were on the stage and on the road, and alcoholics. My father was a sociopath who was not a good person, and apparently he was also a hitman on the side with the mafia, besides somewhat of a pedophile. He was not a good man. And so, obviously there could be a lot of walls there, for me. And I finally decided a couple of years ago, God finally gave me the boulder, because I was not listening to the pebble or the thump on the head, which I really recommend taking the pebble, is I finally had to go through a divorce 3.5 years ago, and then meet another man that I would encounter that literally was brought by God to break me. And I mean break me. And it was the most powerful, painful 1.5 years that I experienced. But it was the most wonderful, blessed thing. And everybody around me that was watching me in that whatever relationship that was like, why the hell are you there? This is really dysfunctional. And I'm like, yeah, I know, I get it, but God has me here. God has me here in this time with this person to be vulnerable, to be open, to finally get the boulder, and I received it. Okay? Sometimes we have to be on the potter's wheel, and I was willing to go through the pain and the embarrassment of the situation in order to be here today, where I can show up for this person in a completely different way, because the old Jandy had to have the reins. I was too scared because I've had to take care of myself my whole life. My whole family passed away between 26 and 29. Y'all, some of you all know in the room, but I don't have any family left. I've lost my entire family, so it's just me, and I've been pretty much on my own my whole life. So, it's been a journey that when you're brought up in all of that and then they all die, I've had to be in control. So nobody at any time have come along and go, oh, okay, you can let go now. And God finally broke me last year and said, let go, let go. and you don't want that experience. Trust me, it was really incredibly painful, incredibly embarrassing. This is what my next book is about, actually. Is about being more submissive and being more feminine and letting go of the reins and becoming who I was meant to be in a state of correction, being able to stand in a state of correction. Because, and I don't know what your beliefs are, and this is not a political thing or a religion thing or a man-woman thing, but it is that we as women, we're built to be women, and it doesn't mean we can't be successful. It doesn't mean we can't make lots of money. It doesn't mean we can't be the bosses. But at the end of the day, men and women are different, and we have different roles, and we need to understand what those roles are so that we can show up for our partners. And I was showing up as the dude. And guess what happened with every relationship? It failed. Because at the end of the day, a dude doesn't want to be with a dude unless that's your thing. Okay? And if it is, that's okay too. You know what I'm saying? So for me, and this is a personal thing, so I've got some fear going on right now. I will tell you, I've had some fear this last year, like, God, do you really want me to put this book out there about submissiveness and letting go and all this? And yep, and now I'm proving it out in this new relationship. And I hope this new relationship works. I really do. I hope it to be successful. But I'm showing up completely different. And I'm actually having joy in being able to let go of the reins and let him be a man, and me being able to be in my role but still be a powerful freaking woman.
Yes.
You hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
You please say that again. Let him be a man.
Let him
He
be
can still be powerful
man.
and feminine. Let him be the man.
absolutely. And we can still be powerful, but you know what? As women, I think right now we've got this fear going on, like, oh my God, but I've got to be in control. You know, and I'm watching relationships with women keep blowing up and keep blowing up and keep blowing up, and they're wondering why. You know, and it's because we become the dudes. Okay? And that's what happened to me. My mother was a dude because she had to take care of herself, so therefore that's what she taught me. It's the legacy that she showed me. She showed me to keep the reins, to be able to not let go. And what is the one word that boils down to is that I don't what?
Trust.
I don't trust. I haven't trusted. And I will tell you, so I'm in all fairness and honesty, this relationship that I'm in is going really well, but the last couple of weeks he's had some stress going on because he's trying to figure some things out, and I have tried to control his stress because I'm scared of it. I'm scared of his stress because what that meant in my past was, oh, you have stress, you're just going to run away. You're going to leave me. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I'm not enough. So Jandy, this last week, has checked in with herself. Coach Jandy has checked in with herself. And if you're watching my daily videos on Facebook, you know that I'm very honest. I don't care if you're a coach. I don't care if you're a therapist. I don't care if you're a pastor. There's no one that's perfect. We all struggle.
That's right.
Tony Robbins struggles. He's had a divorce. He's got issues. We all have issues. It's a matter of how do we show up each day, working through those, making sure that we have a full tool belt with all the tools that we have on board. So I really want to, be honest with you today. That's my struggle, is that I've caused a little friction this last couple of weeks by trying to control his stress. And I have got to back the truck up, and let go if I don't want to destroy this and sabotage this.
That's right.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to leave you with this and ask you this. And you can think about this, and maybe let's post this. I'll do a Coach Jandy post. Maybe y'all can tag me and decide what yours is. But I really want you to sum up in your heart, in your soul, and talk to God about it. If you're not a God person, whatever it is for you, earth, whatever, is what do you want your legacy to say about you? For me, I want my legacy to say she was a healer. She was a fisherwoman of man and women. And that at the end of the day, I was obedient to God, who called me here to be very revealing and open and gut myself and all of my flaws and put them out there in the world in order to heal other people. So I want my legacy to say she showed up, was authentic, and was obedient to God. And so therefore I healed. And that's my mission. And if some people don't like it, bye-bye. So that's what I have today. Was this helpful?
Absolutely.
I do almost a daily video. I can't crank them out every day, but there are some days when I'm just like, I need to sleep in. But I post them pretty early in the morning. I just really say thank you all for all of your support. So thank you.
Give it up to Coach Jandy.